Hi, my name is David Seven. I'm presenting Dactylogram on the occasion of Truth, a group exhibition created by Adam Benger for Fairfile. I've been working as an architect and as a designer most of my life commercially. My artistic practice has always been something in the backdrop, something where where in the little moments of free time from running an architectural practice, I dug into what was more an aesthetic and a vision that was somehow fulfilling my interest for beauty. Fortunately, about 3 years ago, I made the decision to fully focus on my artistic practice. I had the possibility to put aside what was my professional life, and I became I became fully focused into what is my research for the research for my aesthetic.
What brought you to generative art?
Well, working in design architecture, parametric design has always been a large part since the 90s, a large part of my explorations. So it's been in a way a natural progression of methodology in working alongside an algorithm. I personally have I like a human touch within everything I've been working on creatively. And in architecture, this dualism of having something which is very human, reorganized, reshaped by mathematics, always felt very appropriate, and it became embedded into my working practice. Once I manage to focus fully on what is the visual aspect of things, putting aside everything there is, regulations, logic, physical boundaries of spaces and architecture. I found generative art to be a perfect ground to develop my aesthetic. I tend to see my work as pieces of canvas in a more traditional way, artistic expression of ideas and concepts and messages that they want to be out there and stimulate discourse as a main focus to what I do.
For me, I'd personally love to know what resonates with you about the curatorial vision that Adam Berninger set forth for this exhibition. And so I'll just read a little blurb to get us on the same page and we can go from there. The show is about exploring our perception of scale, from the microscopic to the cosmic, where artists are using various abstract forms to look at the fibers of our universe, either obscuring or uniting the differences between the micro and the macro, and inviting a perceived sameness across these scales. So when Adam approached you, what sort of first resonated with you about this curatorial vision?
Well, funny enough, every single word of Adam curatorial vision was reflected in the pursuit of Dactylogram, which is a work I started last year in November, which means it's almost 1 year in the making. The idea of viewing the cosmos, the macrocosmos, through a lens that moves and switch between the two. It's the foundation of what Dactylogram in itself it is, and the parallel between this view and truth as an essence, as a meaning, as something that goes beyond what we define true or false on a daily basis. That's a really powerful theme and something that I've been pondering about and exploring for the past year. So it was really a match, perfect match to what was my pursuit with this project.
That's incredible that this piece has been going for a year, and we're so grateful to exhibit it on Fairfile. It's so beautiful. It really, for me, captures this like zoomed in and zoomed out feeling. Some of the outputs look like the cut side of a gem or a geode, and then others look like the cosmos. And so there's like the very close and the things you can hold versus the things that are so far away that we can only see. So I'm curious just to dive into the work and how it started and how it went.
Absolutely, thank you so much for the opportunity. Well, the idea started from, let's say, from a romantic vision of trying to capture the essence of nature through my canvas. I know that nature in itself it's an extremely popular theme particularly within generative art. In my case, what really attracted me was really the broader meaning of nature, really everything that surrounds us, the forces that define our very existence, gravity, physics, and everything that shape the cosmos, the microcosmos, and everything that's around us. For me, this was a extremely appealing concept because I found it very much soothing and connecting with my inner side whenever I'm looking for balance, whenever I'm looking for something that grounds me back to to be in the best in the best mind frame for whatever task or for whatever situation. So this almost came up as a research for capturing a beautiful meditative moment on canvas, and started off starting from this idea that obviously the development of the work took my thinking, my thought, my understanding of it to various stages at various level. And what I really enjoy of it is really the way that the project in it from the start last November really developed in a linear way without transforming too much, but expanding to what are still the basis, which means that even looking at the early developments of the work, it's recognizable that it fits within within the series. It's just the way it's been growing. It's been fascinating, surprising, and mesmerizing all the way.
Thank you. It's so interesting that it's a meditative moment because there is this stillness. There is this like very kind of calming sense that the pieces bring. And I'm curious, how did you go about kind of transmuting meditation into this work, into this observable object?
I love the fact that you pick up on the stillness of the artwork in itself. This is because personally, my I think in my artistic practice, my view of the work I create is that I find a lot more space to explore and to enjoy and to connect with the artworks when they are still. My work is actually, the algorithm animates the frames that I go through, and in the generations of the artworks, there is a chaos that goes on onto my screen. But the fact that I'm able to create a snapshot of this moment in time, it's both a reflection of the moments that once, or at least I can reach whenever I connect to nature. So it's really it's a tangible moment that burn into my memory to say, yeah, I'm balanced, I got it. And at the same time, the opportunity to actually to vision the artwork without the rush of a frame or frame count. So the overall idea is really to a piece that one can contemplate, and the way that this, at least in my expectations, exude a moment of meditation. It's really the depth of the details and the depth of what is the articulation of textures and forms that compose every piece. Personally, every time I go back to the same artwork, I see new things, I feel different emotions, and I can connect in a slightly different way. So this is an aspect that I found extremely enjoyable and successful, to the point that it led me to invest so much time and so much myself into it. Maybe another aspect is the fact that there is an overarching discourse across the whole series, the whole body, the complete body of work, that it's really about the cycles of life, of existence, of matter and not non-matter. Going from one piece to another, I'm also able to connect better with themes and emotions and situations which are closer to different states of emotions in a way. Some artwork feel really lively and positive, other are very dark, and feel that they are expanding the life essence within themselves. And in that, I love the idea of capturing a moment of that cycle, so that then can reconnect with me in whichever meditative moment of just as an observer, and really reflect on that specific, which for me is in no way better or worse or more beautiful or less than others. It's just part of the cycles that we all go through, and so fascinating and relevant of being.
Where does the name come from?
What I wanted was something that is evocative of a fictional machine. And what I wanted was something that also reminds me of a moment in time, a fingerprint, something that's unique, recognizable, never repeatable, and which has its own DNA. So the dactylogram, it's a scientific term mostly used into the recognition of fingerprints. The dactylograph is the machine that is used for scientific record of fingerprints and things as such. And this, in a way, covered what was my intent of having this semi-scientific name to it. That in a way recognize something which has a very unique DNA, very much like every single artwork within the series.
That is so beautiful. I wonder, can we talk about the different color choices you made and the palettes?
Absolutely. Well, palettes for me were really a combination of elemental references and emotional references. I mean, what else there is to say about color, right? So obviously, it was very wide. Was a very wide and open theme around it. But the way I approached it, aside from aesthetic pairing that made sense for what I was researching, was really to think about biomes, to think about what this family of artworks composing a series were actually going to relate to each other in a bigger story, or at least add another layer to the story of the individual piece. So the color choices are really starting off from what is the elements recognizable on Earth. Whether it's going to be the fire, water, air, and so on, moving to what is actually elements which are more ethereal. So going in both directions towards the cosmos and towards what could be a microcosmos, an inner cosmos, and colors that are not necessarily visible to the human eye, but that they connect at least in my perspective, on a mental level, on an essence level with ourselves. And those ones may be recognizable within the ranges because I think they are more ephemeral within choices. Some at least the more earthly palettes are monochromatic in a way. There is one core strong hue versus non-hue. Whether for the more ethereal pieces, there are more shades. There is more combinations of colors that probably don't necessarily have a name. They cannot really be defined with a word.
Thank you. That is so beautiful. How is randomness incorporated and important in your practice? Is it important at all? How do you think about it when you go about making a piece like Dactylogram?
It's absolutely fundamental. It's a really enjoyable topic, and it's something that I assume, as you might have picked up, already mentioned, it's what in a way brings us all together. For me, as a creative, since now, should we say, since I was 15, it's more than 30 years that I work in creative field, and my mind work in a creative way. The element of randomness has been a teacher, a companion, a partner, has been questioning my choices, has pairing me with other ideas, and has been really my strongest pal in my creative journey. So randomness for me is fundamental on a practical and technical level. So in terms of practice, I like to work with a very core and define idea, and I like to follow a thread, which is my concept. At the same time, though, I like the idea of remaining open to exploring, understanding, and learning more about what I'm working on. And the randomization of that can implement in algorithms really allows for that. I start with a very clear intention, but at the same time, there is a curveball thrown into it, and I end up, I end up learning something new and sparking new ideas and developing further. Bless you.
I wonder if there's anything else about the piece that you want people to know. You've been working on it for a year, and so I'm curious if there's anything else that you would want to share about the work, because it is so beautiful and so deep.
Absolutely. For me, well, firstly, I really would love for the observers to have their own take on it, to give it the time that they feel and be taken by their view, perspective, and experiences, their own approach. Obviously, having worked so long on this and being so invested into this concept, I have I've learned so many things. I've built so many theories about it. At the same time, I don't know how exciting this can be. It's after all, it's an art where it's not a philosophical conversation in itself. As a snippet maybe, or at least as a summary of all the journey that this project has been taking me through, is really the fact of how everything is interconnected in nature, in existence, and how true this is once we really open up to what is the essence of things, without sounding too morbid. Just even gazing at the skies, one can reach that understanding or the solution that there is not so easy to reach once we focus so much on our internal issues, problems, or whatever thought in itself. So I personally love the connections between what's in and what's out there, and how we really are part of this space, and the more we embrace it, and the more we find I find the balance within myself, or at least I found. And I'm amazed that something like an algorithm and an average person is able to visualize something so evocative like the pieces I enjoy and I scroll through in the series.
So, is there anything else that you want to say about the piece, about the exhibition?
For me, it's been a fantastic experience. Aside from the work in itself, which obviously is something that I care deeply about. It's been an incredible experience really working with the team of Profile. Okay, I'm talking to you. It's not really an obvious point. It's been a really interesting dynamic, personally, particularly because I don't have a great experience in group shows, and I feel extremely lucky having found myself surrounded by people which are so empathic, human, interesting, complex, with so much to say, and so different within a small group. You're 7 artists. There is Adam. There's a few of you in the team, so it's not a huge group, but we're also different, and in a way we've been getting out of each other's, or at least we all been covering a slightly different role within our conversation and so on. And again, it's been a beautiful experience learning about different people, and learning about myself throughout this process as well. So it's been I thoroughly enjoy this. This is something that will probably will miss, and I will seek in the times ahead.